Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Before we start with our reading, I actually want us to take a moment and take 3 deep breaths. And while you're doing that, call upon your spirit guides, your ancestors, your angels, demons, whoever you work with. If you've been watching me, I have been working with Mother Hel, and I had a friend, Kim, who made a Hel Oil for me. So I'm going to just use the oil and I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. I'm going to kind of be silent and call upon her silently, and you can do that as well if you want to. If not, you can skip ahead. Okay, I'm ready. I hope you are as well. I normally do this ritual, tiny little ritual, before we start, but I don't know, today it really feels like it wanted to be seen. It wanted to be shared with you. Before I pull cards, I do want to talk about the energy of not only today, but moving forward. So if you guys work with the moon, for example, today is the full moon in Leo, whatever rituals that you do, a lot of people think, and I was one of those people, so I want to kind of teach a little bit here that we believe, I'm going to say, of course, collectively, but of course, your personal path, or if you follow another teaching, it can be different. But I'm going to say in the mainstream, if I can use that word, the full moons tend to be about release, right? We're releasing blockages, we're kind of opening up doorways, pathways, and clearing the way. Usually new moons are about planting seeds and calling things in. But usually I was someone that thought that, the moon changes every 2 weeks, right? When I say changes, it's changing constantly, but I'm saying from full moon to new moon to full moon again, right? The full moon takes about a month to happen. But usually we think that when we do something, for example, on the full moon, the magic is gonna take effect in 2 weeks and in time of the new moon, so I can call things in. Not necessarily. Because full moons and new moons tend to happen in opposite signs. For example, we're in the season of Aquarius, right? So the sun is in Aquarius, we had the new moon in Aquarius. So the full moon happens in the opposite side of the wheel, which is the full moon in Leo. So we're not gonna see this effect happen in 6 months. I hope that makes sense. I hope that leaves your rituals and your spells some time to work and culminate, because it won't happen again until we see the new moon in Leo, which will be, yes, the new moon in Leo, which will be in Leo season when it starts, or even the full moon in Aquarius, which will be Leo season. I hope that makes sense. Now I bring that through because we actually have, like I said, the full moon in Leo, and today I'm recording this on Valentine's Day. How cute. So Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun is very much about the self, right? That solar plexus, I also associate with the heart as well, as that illumination, that shining bright. Leos are kind of known for maybe being a bit of a showman, right? Sometimes a bit egoist. And it's about the self. So when it comes to adding the energy of Valentine's Day, there is a sense of unity, but also a sense of self-love. Now, I want to bring that word unity again, because if you're not familiar, Pluto is in Aquarius, actually. So interestingly enough, right? We have the full moon in Leo, but we're in Aquarius season with Pluto hitting Aquarius. Now, Pluto takes about 20 years to change signs. So it's going to be in Aquarius until 2044. And I bring that through because Aquarius is the sign of community. Aquarius and Libra as well. But Aquarius is very much about the changer. They want community, but they want community to elevate. They want community to grow. They want, and whenever community, for example, is not working, or whenever community, for example, turns into a cult, like we're seeing a lot of cult mentality, cult psychology happening, especially in the US. Aquarius energy, it can do two things. It can, if you're in that cult, it can strengthen it because you're just in that silo. It's the same thought mentality all the time by everyone that you talk to and connect with. But also Aquarius wants to break free. Aquarius is the rebel. It wants to ask more questions. So it wants the betterment of the community. So we have Pluto in Aquarius wanting community and wanting elevation for the community and change. We have Valentine's Day, which is all about community and togetherness and self-love as well. And the full moon in Leo, which is releasing that egoist thing and understanding that we can all shine on our own and together. You know what I mean? We don't have to outshine each other. We can all shine together and our light can be even brighter, right? One candle can light up a room, but many candles, you have now the strength of like one or two modern light bulbs, right? So that's what I mean. So that's what I feel like. That's why I want to just bring that lecture through with these energies. I'm feeling that very strongly. Even myself, I've been kind of thinking in different ways that I can be in community and provide for my community. So if you guys want to subscribe to my TAROTPY Tuesday for my Substack, it's free. I will be posting classes there that will be paid. It's kind of like Patreon. Substack is like Patreon, but you will get my newsletter that is free. You get tarot tips in there, you get a community corner in there, you get personal stories and personal insights on my spiritual path, teachings, and tarot spreads as well. All right, so now let's go to the cards. I want to see what messages are coming through for us. Now, you guys saw, but it's too much. It's too many cards that are falling. Okay. A lot of cups going on. I just want to get one more card. So we're starting out with the Eight of Cups. Now, this is the Marseille Tarot, and I've been really loving this Marseille. I love all tarots. I love the Marseille, I love the Arduous, I love the Thoth, but I'm really wanting to teach the Marseille system because I think that especially the Arduous, the most popular one, it's very scenic. There are scenes in it, and I feel like those scenes can get us stuck. For example, the Four of Cups will kind of always mean boredom, right? Because if you look at it, the guy just kind of looks bored and he's like not really looking at the fourth cup. Eight of Wands will always mean forward movement, right? Because it's all these wands kind of coming down. Of course, it changes and shifts when you're doing the reading. If you're a reader, you know how that can change very quickly and very easily. But the Marseille, I've been having a lot of fun with because I'm really surprised. When you see here, it's kind of like just 8 cups. But when you put yourself in that space of intuition and space of surrender and you're doing a reading for yourself, these cards, as simple as they look, they really start speaking in different ways. And I would love to build a community where we can teach each other and share insights on the Marseille. So that's just my my invitation to you to once again join my Substack, and we can chat about that there. But the Eight of Cups here, I am seeing right in the center, we almost have this cross, right? But there is separation. There is separation here with the Eight of Cups. Even with this foliage happening, it's separating each cup. So I do feel like there is a barrier here. I'm gonna say a language barrier. What I mean by that is that we all have our own unique ways of speaking, right? We all have interests and ways to express ourselves. And sometimes you're trying to express your soul to someone and they're kind of misunderstanding, or they're just not listening. So that can be what I'm kind of getting, a bit of a language barrier. And because cups tend to be about emotions, there's a sense here of separation. Now, I look to the side because I'm really being drawn to the tree of life here. And the eights are here, they're Hod, which are ruled by Mercury. So this is the sphere, or the Sephiroth, of intellect, of the mind. But interestingly enough, we have cups. So there is a disconnect also between the mind and the heart. I feel like there is a disconnect between the intellect. We're trying to communicate with someone either too emotionally and they're intellectual, and vice versa. We're being too intellectual and they're just more emotional. Sometimes we can be really emotions versus solution based. And that's okay. It's okay to be emotional at times, because we need to go through that process in order for us to get to the solutions based. But if you're not there yet, that's okay. The tree of life is constantly shifting and changing. And here, Mercury is Hermes, is Odin, is Pan, is all these traveling gods. It's what they feel like. Odin and Hermes never stay in one place. They are these psychopomps. They travel all over the tree of life. They travel all over Yggdrasil and the worlds. So right now, if you're kind of traveling all over your emotional state, that's okay. Because we have the Five of Wands, which is strife. It is a challenge. So here we have 4 wands kind of creating this X. And I usually like to think as X marks the spot, because the 4s are very stable. There is a stability in a square, right? In a rectangle kind of thing. But the 5th comes in and breaks that barrier. Very Aquarius energy too. Interestingly enough, the 5s are actually right up here in this red. So we were in the orange in Hod. The 5s in the tarot are here in Gabora, which is ruled by Mars, which is, Gabora translates to severity. So interestingly enough, that we're right here in between in the pillar of severity when it comes to the tree of life, or the pillar of form. Sometimes it's called the pillar of form, pillar of severity. So we're in these two right here. What's the one in the middle? Oh, interesting. I actually pulled this card for myself last night. So the pathway that's right between Hod and Gabora is the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is water. Is, at least in the Kabbalah, it has to do with water energy. The Hanged Man, I wonder if I can find him really fast. He is stuck upside down. Also, what I love about the Hanged Man is that he's the only card that is upside down when he's upright. You know what I mean? If you're looking at the decks, like all of them are upside down. Every card, they're sitting upright, like I am, like you are, unless you're laying down. But the Hanged Man, he's upright right now, but the image is upside down. What I love about this image is that he has completely surrendered to being different. There's a uniqueness here to him. He's not afraid to be upside down. When everyone else is upright, he's not afraid to be upside down. He's not afraid of the strife, because he believes in himself. He believes in his, oh my gosh, what's the word? Because I want to say he believes in his beliefs, which is a bit ridiculous of a sentence, but he is grounded. It's funny because his feet are upside down, but he's so grounded in himself. It's like the mind is close to the ground. So that mind that we talked about in Hod, is close to Malkuth. Malkuth is planet Earth, is our realm, is where we live. Everything else is the other planets, like the Moon, Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So that's kind of a map of the universe, and the down here is the planet Earth, which interestingly enough is our last card, the 10 of Cups. The 10s in the tarot have to do with Malkuth, the kingdom. And it's the Earth, it's planet Earth is where we live. Now we also got the 10 of Cups. Now I love this card because there's a giant cup up here. What I'm getting from this card is faith. To me, I see all these cups looking up at the big cup. It's almost like the big cup in the sky, the big spirit in the sky, God, whoever you believe in. When I say God, I never really mean the Christian God. I always kind of mean this just abstract notion of God, of the universe, of source, right? But I just like God because it's short. It's short and simple. But it's faith. It's faith. I'm seeing this big cup kind of, it's sideways, so it's pouring over. All the water is pouring out. No wonder we have the Hanged Man here, right? Between strife and intellect. When we are too left-sided, or too one-sided, I should say, too one-sided, it doesn't matter left or right. When we're too one-sided, it creates strife, and then we become too intellectual. We stop being water. We stop being malleable in a way, and we stop changing. You know, water, I find it to be a really fascinating element because water is never stuck in one place. Even if you're in a room, right, that's air conditioned and all that, and you leave a cup of water, eventually that water will be gone. Even though it didn't boil, but it evaporated. That vapor becomes clouds. Then it becomes rain. Then it becomes lakes, rivers, oceans. Then it becomes our drinking water. It's this constant cycle of shift and change when it comes to the element of water. So what I'm feeling here is, amongst the strife of the Five of Wands, we need to have a bigger element of faith, because also 10s are double fives in a way, right? 5 and 5 is 10. I bring that through because when it comes to Marseille, there's a lot of numerology that you want to do. And for example, a difference between the Marseille and the RWS is that we look at the 10 of Cups and we see that family with the rainbow, right? We just go, oh, that's joy, that's happening, that's amazing. Maybe you wouldn't really see faith in that card. You would see faith in the star, which I absolutely do. But it just feels great, right? But sometimes too much emotion, like the Ace of Cups would be little emotion, the beginning of an emotion. 10 of Cups would be too much emotion. Which sounds great. It can be great to feel big, beautiful feelings. Sometimes it's really painful to feel big, beautiful feelings, or to just feel big feelings. So I bring that through with the 5s being like the 10 being a double 5, because it brings that duality. It's 5 and 5. It's me against them. It's them against us. I'm also at that mentality right now because it's hard to see both sides when one side is so extreme, and you just see history repeating itself, and you see that they are on the wrong side of history, and you just don't understand how can they think that way. How can they think against so many people? But the 10 of Cups is saying to have faith in the midst of, again, strife and over intellect to the point of distortion of the mind. The 10 of Cups is saying, can we even this out? Right? 5 is an odd number. 5 and 5, 10 creates an even number. And even numbers in the Marseille tend to have an equilibrium to them. 5 and 5, equal sides, right? Create equilibrium, create balance. What I'm also feeling too, because the Hanged Man his body is just upside down, I'm also feeling that it's really important to bring balance to the body in the moment. If you are doom scrolling on social media, which I think now is more important than ever to step away. I know we want to be informed, and being informed is important, but there's so much fast information, misinformation, people's opinions, just random, short, out of context thoughts and words in social media, that they just create this electricity and this anxiety in our hearts. So if you can, step away, give yourself a few hours to turn off your phone, put your phone somewhere else. If you need to hear it, put the, mine is always on silent. So when it rings, I just kind of feel it vibrate. But if it's on the other room, then I'll turn the ringer on and I can hear it. But we need to bring balance to our bodies. There is a strife here with the 8 of Cups. There is a separation here. But I also love that all this foliage, there is one source, there is one center, right? And to me, it's like we've grown out, which is great because it encompasses all these cups and all this community. But we also want to kind of bring it back together and bring it to groundedness. Really, that's the word. I feel like my mind, being intellectual, my mind wants to elaborate on it, but really there isn't much to elaborate other than we need groundedness. We need to be safe and assured within ourselves and in our uniqueness, and faith. Faith is just incredibly important in these moments. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time.